Hello.
Hi, Mary Beth. How are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Oh, good, good, good. Just hanging out. Had some soccer this morning, and uh, now just hanging out.
Just still thinking about soccer.
Still thinking about it. It doesn't stop. Then tomorrow we play again with the women's, and then on Monday get to travel to New Jersey and be there for 8 days with the GA, and so yeah, full time.
Oh, so you're
Always
still
good.
with the Girls Academy?
Yes, I'm the actually director of the Girls Academy.
Yeah, well, I knew that was once upon a time a thing. I didn't know you had the dual role now.
Yeah, yeah. So I do. I coach. I have two of my own teams, and then I do the WPSL team, and then I oversee everybody else. So
Wow.
huge responsibility.
Yeah, it is. I know Albion is like that. Like once you're in, you're in.
Done and done.
Yeah, exactly.
Good.
All
How
right,
are
well, I
things with
just
you?
things are good. Things are good. It's been a crazy season. But it's exciting, especially with the men's team, and now I'm working with the women's team, so it's great. I love the
That's
combination.
amazing.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Thank you for being there yesterday. It meant a lot to people, and some girls were wondering who you were, so I explained them, and hopefully we get to see a little bit more out there next time.
Yeah, and next time maybe I'll come down a little bit and talk to,
Of
meet the
course.
the ladies and stuff because, I know you only have one more home match, but yeah, sometimes I just pop up periodically and people are like, "Who is that?" Like, I'm
Yeah, good, good,
everywhere.
good.
I'm everywhere.
You, you can always be next to us. You are more than
Oh,
welcome to come anytime.
awesome, awesome. Okay, cool. Well, that's Hector Trujillo you see down there. He is my cohort. We do a lot of these interviews, and
Nice.
we play them during. I was explaining yesterday. We play them at the men's matches, and it kind of introduces people who are watching the broadcasts to different members of the Albion, staff and the team and the players and stuff like that. So I thought it'd be an
Of course.
interesting crossover to have the women's coach, speak to everyone on the men's side just to kind of give a little insight and also to introduce. I don't know if everybody even knows that we have a women's team. So
Of course. Thanks for having me. And Hector, pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Daniel. Hey, I'll just start off with a basic one for me. Well, I know the girls team of WPSL didn't play last year, but what are your as their coach, what do you see from them this year? Are they meeting your expectations?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, without, playing 1 year and, my biggest challenge was putting everything together, getting everything organized. I mean, we had about 90, almost to 100 players that came out and tried out. 50 of these players we, chose, not to go with. And then the rest of them, I mean, players is, they come from different places. Some of them played for Albion before. Some of the players, come from out of state. And, the challenge for me as a coach is always to go in and put the puzzle together, and to get them, to play on the same path. But I think
yeah,
now this is a good foundation because we have very, very young players, that are playing Division 1 soccer. Some are, amateurs, some players, play in our GA environment, so it's good, something that we can build upon. There's always improvement in the game of soccer. We can never say it's perfect, but definitely a young roster and something that we can look forward to many more years to building.
Thank you.
yeah, absolutely. And that's what I was. My question is kind of piggybacking on that. There was a hiatus where the Albion left the UPSL for a couple seasons, one due to COVID, and then whatever the other one was. But now you're back, and you're talking about how you got your team together. And I was wondering, like, how do you scout? I know you have a lot of the players came from the Girls Academy and that have been playing with Albion for a long time. And then there are a lot of other women out there that are playing at amazing college level institutions. I just wondered how you guys scout for them. Aside from tryouts, do you scout otherwise?
Yeah. So, for example, I think you and I had a little bit of a chat. So I'm the GA director, so I oversee the entire Girls Academy side. So the players that are within my program are players that received invitation from me directly. And then we had open tryouts where we had players come out that was advertised through our website to come and through our social media. And then after that, we had players that reached out to us and players that wanted to play for Albion as the organization. And that kind of comes to some of them played before for Albion, and they heard that we're having, the WPSL team, and, they reached out, and that was kind of the process for us. Going and scouting players out was not, the process, I would say, but, them reaching out to us, and we're getting to know them through, film that was sent to us by the players, observing and, inviting them to training, because, players will always come and say, I played here, I played there, but you can't see it until you have them training in front of you with the team.
Absolutely.
So we've been doing that kind of, throughout this entire season. We still have some players that come in, that would like to train and hopefully be with us next year.
Yeah, that's great. And the team looks really great this year. I mean, regardless of whatever record it shows, that this team is going to come together really solid. These are very strong, athletic women, and this is going to be a great team. I can tell you that.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And on my end, any position, midfield, defenders, strikers or players itself that have really stood out this season more than other areas, I guess?
No, I mean, I think at this level, every player stands out, Hector. We, have players that, and, with WPSL, the season is so short that, you have to fit in all these games. And then we have some players that came in a little bit late. And we have some players that, did not get released by their schools until a certain time. And then we have some players that, went on vacations and stuff. So it was always a little bit difficult to go in and, put the team together, like the top team, the top players, to compare that, to contrast, right? But, overall, everybody's standing out. There is not one player. Our captain, Sydney Gilbert, she's also a coach with Albion, comes and helps out the GA group too. She's been pretty consistent with her performance. But overall, everybody else is, doing their best.
And real quick follow-up on that. How many, I know last year, I think it was the top two of each division. Is it still the top two of each division to make the playoffs?
No, it's just one.
Oh, okay. So it looks like
Yes.
SoCal Surf, basically, I was gonna say.
Yeah. If they opt out, then, it will be the second team that would go.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Oh, you're muted, Maribeth.
My dog was barking, so I wanted to mute it.
Taquito!
Yes, he's a monster. Having coached both men and women, do you find you employ different strategies to do that?
Well, I actually, I did coach men's for a long time. Ronaldo Pineda, that plays for the men's team. He was my player up in Park City Red Bulls, and strategies, definitely, coaching, the men's side and the female side is completely different. The best way to go ahead and, describe this is that, with the female side is more about, getting to know them, bonding together, putting the social relationships on the field and everything else, Well, with the men, it's a lot competitive, the speed of play is quicker. The soccer is it's more, I would say, and I coach at a USL level too. And, it's more, I would say, off of a drive because they want to go in and take the game to the national level. They want to go in and explore. And, with female side, it's probably because of maturity. We still have some players that are in schools. Some players are pursuing the professional career. Some players are pursuing more the coaching side. But overall, at the end of the day, the beauty about this game is that it brings everybody together, and everybody's to a certain point, we can see that they all love the game. They want to be there for each other, and me as a coach, it definitely makes makes them shine. Makes me shine, not just them, but throughout through the performance and through practices and everything else, getting to know them better. It's definitely something that can be a challenge in some way, but in some way it's very rewarding. And getting to know both how to work with men and how to work with female coaches is something that I hold, I would say, as a treasure. It's sometimes it's really hard to teach, but I've been also, I don't know if you all know, I was an educator for 15 years of my life, so I taught in a school, and I think that's where I kind of get the idea or understanding of how to deal with female and male players. And
how to blend it together. Exactly.
Yes, you got to keep them neutral, and it's good. So we're having a excellent time.
Awesome. And Hector, I'm sorry if I could just piggyback on that one. Your education is pretty extensive, and a lot of it is psychology, sports psychology, that kind of thing. And I'm assuming was that intentional toward your coaching or toward sports, or did they just happen to tie together?
So it's kind of crazy. So when I went to the University of Utah, obviously, and I
Me
went.
too.
There you go. Go Utes, go
Go
Utes.
Utes.
I was a business major, and I used to be in the financial industry for almost 8-9 years. I used to work for several banks, and then one day it was kind of when the market crashed, early 2000s. I decided this is not something I want to do anymore. I want to go and be a teacher. So I went to school, and I became a teacher. I don't know if you're familiar, Mary Beth, but where Juan Diego Catholic High School is in Draper,
Mhm.
Utah. So that's where I worked for 7-8 years, and so I taught health, I taught PE, with a combination of the two, and then I eventually, when I graduated, I said, I know sports, like because my degree is exercise and sports science when I switched the major, but I don't know the business side of sports. So I went and pursued a degree in sports and athletic administration. So it was more tying into eventually being an athletic director into school. And that's when I came to San Diego. That's actually what I did. I was athletic director. And then when that was over, actually before I came here to San Diego, I was already in the process of getting a PhD. And it was kind of a drive that something that it's always hard to figure out the human brain. And that goes for any of us. We can talk about sports, we can talk about exercise, and but the idea is for me to really implement that into the education side, not as a teacher but also as a coach. And we see that specifically, so it's psychology, but my emphasis is in performance psychology, which means that I can work with businesses, I can work with schools, I can work with athletes, I can work with anything that needs to enhance performance. And I think that side was always missing, but through a lot of classes, and I mean, from we're talking about 9,000 level classes to I have about 3 classes left.
Wow.
My final dissertation, I should be handing that out in October, and then hopefully if it passes, I'm done. No
Can
more
we call you
school, but
Dr. Dado after that?
that is good enough. That's but it definitely was a connection. I think it's a good combination, but at the end of the day, we always work with people and humans, and it's vital for us to understand that how not just the psychology side. I mean, there's so many things, from psychoanalysis to psychomotor development to everything, how all that ties into helping somebody out. And
Absolutely. And within coaching, and even like we were talking about before, the difference between coaching men and women, like that's what I'm sure your education comes in greatly when coaching anyone to understand what's happening, how to motivate them.
Absolutely. There's and you can say the motivation side of soccer can be very, very difficult at times, depending what situation you're in. If you got the upper hand in the game, yes, but you look at, for example, 2-0 game, we were against Dutch Lions, and then they come in and score in the last 3 minutes, they tie it up 2-2. Now you go into a locker room, and you gotta talk to the players, so like staying motivated at that time and then motivating during the game, it's completely two different things. But I think that there's different schedules where you can address certain things, so for example training, pre-match, post-match and stuff. And at the end of the day, we're here to make these players better, that we are humans, we make mistakes, and from mistakes you learn, obviously. To be negative is never a good thing. The passion might shine out of us, and it might come across the wrong way, but at the end of the day, we're here to help each other out and do what's best for this country and football and Albion and everyone else.
Exactly. Amen to that.
Yeah, I just have one last one. Actually, it's obviously dealing with the schedule that we talked about. There's only 3 games left in the regular season, and the team is still alive for second place at least. What do you expect to see from the team in the final few games?
What we're gonna expect, it's gonna be a final push. So, we play tomorrow. We play. Then I'm gonna be gone. I'm gonna be in New Jersey with the GA for the playoffs. So my assistant coach and other coaches will be there to help out. It's going to be a strong finish. It's going to be tough because strikers, we haven't played them yet, so this is going to be our first game, and then we have to still go in and play against a team that beat us. And it was we were definitely had the upper hand in the game, but anything that is tactically involved can always be a little bit of a difference maker. We have to go for the best. It's put in the best crew possible to achieve the results. We want to ensure that we put everything in what we learned in training, how we prepare ourselves for the match, doing film analysis on the teams, and close things out with a fashion.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much, Daniel.
absolutely.
Yeah, nice meeting you on my end. I'm done, Mary Beth, but yeah, thank you.
Yeah, okay. I just
Of
had
course.
one more. I just wondered how you got to Albion originally. How did you get connected?
So how I got connected, it's kind of a crazy story. When I came to San Diego, and I promised my wife I'll never coach soccer again.
Haha.
And there was, when I called my father and I told him that, my dad was like, "This is in your blood. You don't know what you're talking about. How about you? You don't say anything." I said, "Okay, we'll see." So my daughter was playing, and Noah Gins reached out to me, and he heard that I've been coaching in Utah. I was actually an academy director for a club, and was a little bit involved with Real Salt Lake as well on the MLS side. And before I came out here, and so he said, "I have a team for you." And I said, "My man, I promised my wife I'll never coach again." So he said, "Can you please help me out? I need a coach that left. There was some things going on." And I said, "Okay, cool." So from ethics of coaching and being a coach, I said, "Can I go see the team?" And I went to see the team, and it was one of the academy teams on the girls' side, 2011. And I told him, "I'll help you out." So I helped him out, and then we went from there. I said, I can finish out this half season, help you out, and then I'm going to move on. And then Noah reached out, "Do you want to go with us to Spain?" And I said, "Sure." "Do you want to help a little bit with within the MLS environment and do a couple of training sessions?" "Sure." And then a position came out in the GA as a coach. They had a coach that left to coach the youth national teams, and I stepped into her position, into her role. So I coached the 2010 and the 2008 girls. And so within 7-8 months, then Jen left, and then Jen went to coach for Gotham in New York.
Oh,
And
wow.
then director, the position came out, for GA, and I applied, and I was granted the permission to take the ownership of the role, and here I am.
So you fell under the spell of Noah Gins.
Yeah.
That dude is a smooth operator like nobody else on this planet.
Love the guy. Love the guy.
Oh,
Fantastic guy to
absolutely.
be around with. Gives his passion and the world to this game. And I learned a lot from him. And at the end of the day, we all learn together. For
Absolutely.
SoCal soccer is something that's top. It's not. If you go in the state of Utah or other places, I would probably say Southern California and like the East Coast. But anyway, in the mid, United States, it's different. Here it's more professional, and the professionalism has to be there at all times. And, we learn through that. It's very competitive. It's, somewhat you would say it's professional, professional youth levels. And
Sure.
I like the challenge. Challenges are what I strive off and what I breed off. And, we're doing great things. We're here to find success and do the best for our girls.
Oh, that's so great. That's awesome. It's super great to meet you. And just a little side note, we're like 6 degrees of separation, because you went to the U, I went to the U, and you coached in Park City, the Park City Red Wolves. They are, yes, affiliated with the Chattanooga Red Wolves.
Yes.
So our former men's coach, Ziggy Kortoski, I don't know if you know who he is
Yeah,
now currently coaching. Yeah, he's coaching the Chattanooga Red Wolves.
Yes. Yeah, there's actually a couple of my players that play there. There's JD Myers. He's the goalkeeper. He's there. And then I also have another player that's involved there as well. And actually, I was thinking about bringing him to here to Albion, but maybe next year. So we'll see. But
Have to wrestle him away from Ziggy.
Yes, and then I see Ronaldo yesterday on the field, and he's like, "Dado," and I was like, "Where are you? Where have you been?" Small world. This is a small place.
Yeah, it really truly is. What was
So
super
Ronaldo,
awesome.
Ronaldo Pineda is number 8, right?
Yeah, okay, so he is currently
We're
going
like
by
in the
his,
broadcast was like we're looking at each other like what?
so
Yeah,
I spoke to him about it and he said it's
Okay.
for his mom. He's dedicating this season to his mom, so he wanted to use the name Sosa. But we
Gotcha.
were not
Okay.
informed of that. That's what Hector was
He's
saying.
like,
So
is that
as we're
Sammy Sosa? What the?
broadcasting the match, I keep saying Pineda, but then I noticed the jersey didn't say Pineda, so then we just stopped calling his name because we were not sure what was happening.
Please don't give him the ball. Please don't give him the ball.
Yeah, that's exactly how it was. So
Hey, nice
now I
meeting
know.
you, Daniel. I appreciate it.
Likewise, Hector. Thank you so much. We'll chat again.
Okay, thanks. Bye, Daniel.
Bye bye, Mary Beth. Have a good day.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Ciao.